This is still the morning show, reaching in from our studios in Enugu. Our next segment will be the newspaper headlines. But before then, Charles,
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate you on being one of the few that were actually chosen for the MTN media program in Lagos.
Right.
And of course, that will take you to South Africa.
Yes, indeed.
So this first program, how did it go?
It went on well, really. They told us it was over 2,600 persons that participated. There were different phases. The first phase is to know who you are, where you work, what you do. And then the next phase, you are asked what you're bringing to the table. What exactly will you contribute when you are chosen? And then what do you expect to learn from the so-called program? And then the next phase is an essay. They say you should identify a problem within your vicinity. After identifying the problem, then also states how technology can solve that particular problem. And they said specifically that you must localize it, where you work, where you live. So I did an essay on the farmers' headers clash. Yeah, incidentally, it was around that time we had the Adani clash. Okay. We also visited Nimbo, so the story was like I was telling the story about what had happened to these people in these communities. I'm sure maybe that's the reason why I was chosen amongst the many people who participated.
Okay, most more congratulations. And of course, we must congratulate the Signature Television because actually, if it wasn't for the Signature Television, it wouldn't have been there. And if what we're doing here is not of value, perhaps you may have gone there, rambled around, and then you will be chosen. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So the newspaper headlines. The newspaper headlines. Okay, our first paper this morning is Daily Trust and is screaming with a banner headline. Federal government wants state electoral bodies scrapped. That's a huge one.
You know, I saw someone arguing about this and said if they say the reason why they're asking that the State Electoral Commission be scrapped because state governors manipulates them to fix people in different positions in order to siphon monies, that they should also do the same with INEC. Because the same thing that the federal government is accusing the state government of is the same thing that the state government is also saying that federal government also does with the federal INEC.
Yes, and no. See, when it comes to the local government, it's not just about manipulating the elections. It's about the state governors holding the local government councils as a chess. In fact, they strangulate them. Let me use the word. I passed through that mail. I know what it is. So it's not just about the elections. It's about, for example, most states are running, what do you call them? Transition committees. In some states is HPMs that are running the local government. And so it's not just about election. It's much more than that. There's a joint account. And how it is run it remains to be imagined. So
everything boils down to money at the end of the day. Yeah. Everything, because I also think that for this to be transparent, the powers to appoint the INEC chairman should be removed from the president. The same thing with the governors. The governors are the ones who sit around and they, okay, who do we put now? Somebody who can tell what to do and they do it. So the powers of fixing who heads the state electoral commissions and the INEC chairman himself should be removed from the governors and from the president. Let it be an act of legislation, either through National Assembly or through some sort of act that wouldn't make the president, involved in choosing who leads this particular organization.
Yes, I think they want to outlaw. What they want to outlaw is not about conducting an election, but it's about what the governors are doing now. No insult intended. His Excellency P2B ran Anambra State for 7 years and a half without an elected local government system. And the Constitution empanels them to have in all the councils an elected, whether they are selected, whether they are appointed, but there should be an election. There should be councillors. Without that, there's no democracy at that level.
True.
And that is just not what I think the federal government may not want. Nobody is asking whether elections are properly conducted, but the issue is let the elections be held, conduct them. Good enough. Enugu had just announced what?
October 5.
October 5th as the day for local government elections. So I'm sure Daily Trust must have done its duty by saying federal governments want state electoral bodies. The next is the nation. Council autonomy, battle heightens. Basically the same thing.
Yes.
You know, prior to 1990, was it to 1999? There was an election done in Nigeria, in which was conducted by INEC, as it were, and you had local governments elected, not controlled by the states. I remember what happened in Abakaliki then. One local government chairman had a running battle with Sam Ebu as governor. And he was able to do that because he was not tied to the apple string.
Absolutely.
Of the state.
Absolutely.
So if you ask me, we should give local government autonomy. People should freely elect their people, choose who will govern them, both at the local council level and at the ward level.
I'm shocked. I'm surprised that the governors haven't said anything so far. It's as if the presidency is holding them to some sort of position that makes it look like if any of them act against it, that there might be some penalties or some sort. I mean, I know something like this happened during Buhari, and governors came hard and they had meetings, several meetings. Even there was even a time they said that the State House of Assembly should have autonomy of some sort. But the state governors kicked against it, and there were meetings upon meetings, and at the end of the day, that particular policy did not come to fruition. So I'm wondering why the state governors are not reacting the way they should.
I think like it's a little more dangerous than not talking. They should
Is
talk.
it?
Because when they talk, you know what they have in mind.
What they
If
have
they're
in
not
mind.
talking, it's a danger signal. But whichever way it goes, we're looking forward to a vibrant, viral local government system where the people at the grassroots will feel governance. Because that's the people that are closest to the people. And if it's not working, it's not working. Well, let's take a look at the punch. First anniversary. Tinubu government awards 6 trillion naira contracts for roads and others. When they mention money in Nigeria, it comes in trillions. And sometimes when you want to look at what they've achieved with it, those things will come in millions. so
Sometimes it doesn't even get to millions, in fact. I feel really sad in a time and period where people are talking about hunger. As at last statistics, over 133 million Nigerians are multi-dimensionally poor. I'm wondering why the government is bringing out money instead of bringing or rolling out all sorts of poverty alleviation programs. That is what we should be hearing. How people can feed, what people can do to just get food on the table. We're talking about roads, specifically this coastal, 700-kilometer coastal Calabar-Lagos highway. I feel that is ill thought of. For me, I mean, you could have a different view, but that's ill thought of, for crying out loud. When you have people who are poor, who need food, you are telling them about roads. What has that got to do with anything, really?
I was just thinking and imagining if they could put the 6 trillion into health, education, and social welfare. Perhaps there will be a turnaround in the poverty level in Nigeria. Well, ours is just to make government aware of what's happening. Is theirs to implement that. And so, that would appear. The Guardian.
Yes, The Guardian.
Amid penetration surge, Nigeria spent over 500 billion on data within the first quarter.
It's a welcome development. It's a welcome development given that access to internet has become, in some parts of the world, a right, a human right, in fact. But in this part, I'm not sure it is. But with more penetration, more internet penetration by Nigerians, it means that there has been access to information by more people. And access to information leads to, development and growth amongst humans.
And Wike is just calling on the president to come and commission some mega projects in Abuja. Well, I'm sure our people are keeping a track on them because in the past couple of days, Wike has been all over the news about what he has done in Abuja in the past, not even 1 year, some months.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what has happened. But if given what he did in Rivers, not the interference though, not the interference with Fubara's government. But in terms of infrastructure, you can't take it away from Wike.
Absolutely.